Yo, what's up, guys? It's Reggie here. I'm here in Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, um, doing the intermodal. And I have to say, I really enjoy doing the intermodal. It gives me a little taste of what I'm going to be doing when I get back home. Basically, it is really locally. Like, I know these freeways almost by heart now, because I've been coming back and forth on them for the past weekend. And so it's almost like I live here almost. I kid you not. But I'm here at the International dealership. This truck continues to give me problems, and I have a court date coming up for a ticket that I got, and I explained to you guys what that ticket was about after I go to court. But I have to be back in LA by that time to go to that court date, and I don't want to risk missing the court date and getting into any kind of trouble with the law or Prime. You know what I'm saying? So I'll discuss what the whole issue was once I figure out. Once I win the case, because I know I am going to win it because it wasn't my fault. But anyways, check this out. So remember about 2 weeks ago, no, babe, probably like a month ago, when I first upgraded, or 3 weeks ago when I first upgraded, the truck was fine, right? It appeared fine. Somewhere in the middle of my first trip, my engine filter light came on and said that my engine exhaust was overheating. Now, it would only come up when I would come to a stop. But when I'm cruising down the freeway, no lights, no check engine lights, no exhaust lights, nothing. Only when I came to a stop. I contacted Road Assist. They told me to bring it into the International dealership. I was already on my way to Springfield anyway, so why not knock out two birds in one stone, hit that International dealership while I'm taking my intermodal class. It took them 2 days to get to it because most of the truck dealerships are jam-packed. It takes about 2 to 3 days for them to even start repairs on your truck. So we got the truck in, and they told me, they said, hey, the problem with your truck was your DPF filter was one of the most dirtiest DPF filters that we had ever seen. So that resolved that issue. They cleaned the DPF filter, and I haven't seen that light since until last night. Last night, when I came to a stop again, my DPF filter, overheat, exhaust light, whatever, came on again. Now, since then, I haven't seen it. I only seen it about twice yesterday. But in between all of these problems, actually after my first blowout, you know, I had 2 blowouts last week. One on Tuesday night in Oklahoma City and another one on Thursday night in Barstow, California. After my first blowout, and I'll show you pictures, my truck started to give me overspeed warnings. Oh, I think I already showed you guys. It started giving me overspeed warnings, right? And then the speedometer would get stuck in a down position. It would get stuck, so I couldn't really tell how fast I was going. Nothing. So I called dispatch. I let them know because I didn't want to get in any kind of trouble because you know these trucks are monitored. If you go over a certain speed, down a downhill or anything, you can expect a phone call sometimes. And they'll ask you, what was going on. I heard it for myself. One time I heard a dispatcher asking a driver, why were you turning and accelerating at the same time? So they're monitored. So you got to be careful. Drive cautious, because it can be held against you. Anyway, so from that last video I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago when that speedometer problem was happening, it was happening every now and then, maybe like once a week, twice a week. It wasn't happening enough to where it was really raising any major concern. Up until last night, it happened again when I was dropping off my load. But this time, everything that happened last time happened again, except this time the governor did not work. All right, so these trucks are governor. If you are a lease operator, you can go 65 miles per hour. If you are a company driver, you can go 62 miles per hour. Well, when that overspeed warning came in and my tachometer got stuck, my truck was able to accelerate well over 75 miles per hour. So, and I didn't realize it until I was like, damn, I am going kind of fast. You know what I'm saying? I had the trailer, I was loaded. Actually, I was empty, but I had a trailer. And I was like, damn, I'm going 75 miles per hour. And the only way I knew that was because my Waze navigation app was showing that I was going about 75 miles per hour when you're really only allowed to go 62, 65. So my governor stopped working, right? All right? Or whatever governs the truck wasn't working. Not only that, I said, well, this is a good time to try out my Jake brake, because the international Jake brakes are quieter than the Freightliner Jake brake. Sometimes you can't even tell if the Jake brake is on the international. So I turned it on, and my Jake brake wasn't even slowing me down. I mean, I was able to, don't get me wrong, I was still able to, I wasn't heavily loaded, I wasn't going down a hill. I was able to stop. I was able to slow down with just my brakes, but I said, let me see if my Jake brakes would slow me down, because I felt like my Jake brakes were giving me issues previously as well. And sure enough, not even my Jake brakes came on. So something is going on. I brought it here to the international dealership. They told me something is going on with the communication between the computer and speeding and all of that. And at one point it was losing power a little bit too, but that only happened one time. So the current situation is I have to be back in LA by Thursday, which means that I have to fly home, because they told me that within the last 30 minutes, that means for me driving from waking up this morning at the Pilot to driving 13 miles to the dealership here where I'm at now, the truck already pulled up 7 codes, and it's been continuously putting up those codes for weeks now, because you can go back and look at the codes that have happened. Now, I thought that other than the problem that I apparently saw, I thought that was the only problem that the truck was having. But it's not, because just because your engine light is off, and just because the truck itself on the cluster isn't telling you any, isn't pulling any codes, the computer system that they have here, man, look at this bug. Look, what is that? Oh, you can't really see it. Okay, anyway, just because it doesn't show you on the instrument cluster here doesn't mean that the truck isn't pulling codes. The code I'm having here is 524285, something like that, which is just, they said it's just a tracker that shows that there are some codes, but it's not specific as to what the codes are. But their computer showed 7 codes happened within the last 30 minutes of me driving the truck from the truck stop to here. So he said the problems that the truck is having, it'll roll, but it won't roll all the way to LA, which I was supposed to be heading to tonight. Now, I'm gonna be flying home. Well, for what I know, I'm gonna be flying home. Now, these issues have been happening from all the way from the blowout to the cluster to the engine, DPF. I was supposed to be flying home before any of this anyway. Why I'm still in this truck after I already told everybody about the problems, I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. So now I'm finna fly home officially, because this truck just giving me problems. Well, I can't say officially, but that's what the plan seems to be so far. So hopefully I can fly home from Dallas Airport, or Fort Worth Airport. Dallas Fort Worth Airport, International Airport. Whoa. And make it home and start my intermodal at home, because I like this truck. Don't get me wrong. It's a lightweight truck, but it has space. It runs good. Other than the problems, it runs good. I got brand new tires on it, but is it really worth it? No, it's not. So I'm gonna go in here and see what they're talking about. I already talked to them. I gotta see what my dispatchers are talking about, see if they can fly me home, and I'll keep you guys updated. Well, I'm gonna be taking a bus home. But check this out. I was standing right over there when I got rained on. My Uber is on the way now, though. Peace out.